My name is Isabel Emerson, and I was born and raised in Richmond. And when I say born, I was actually born in what used to be called the Canal District. I went to all of Richmond schools, and I went away to college. I'm a graduate of Tuskegee. Then it was Tuskegee Institute. Now it's Tuskegee University. And then I came back home and started working for, my first job was with Neighborhood House. And I was working in their youth program. From then I went to work for the county evaluating human services program. And at that time was the Office of Economic Opportunity, the old EOC national program. Leaving the county, I went to work for the Y, and then Girls Club as executive director, and then the city of Richmond over their adult literacy program. And I've always had a passion for working with young people, the underserved young people, the ones that fall through the cracks, young people that still had the potential of becoming great. So that's my story, and I'm a member of the Providence Baptist Church here in Richmond. Across the street, we was meeting at the agency, was on 37th and Barrett. A shooting took place across the street, and this young lady ran out, and so we called the police, and we said we really need to do something. So there was some money from the state California Youth Authority at that time. And there was another young lady, Janet Lyons, that was also involved with us. So we put together the proposal, and we got some money to work with teen moms. But it didn't address the major problem of our young ladies and young men that was just dropping out of school, creating havoc. Gangs were really prevalent at that time. And so we decided we really need to do something. And so we wrote the proposal, got the money, and we were under Children's Council. So it was then decided that we should really form our own nonprofit. So we put out the call, and we got board members, and that was like the birth of Youth Services Bureau. Talia was working for Children's Council at that time, and we decided you would be the executive director because she was really involved in working with youth. She had worked with youth at the YWCA at that time, and she had a passion like you've never seen to really go out and work with those kids that nobody else wanted. The school district didn't want them, and they thought it was the end thing of working with gangs. And she said, we've got to save our kids. And that was the birth of, at that time, it was West Contra Costa Youth Services Bureau, because we was only going to deal, because we only had the money to deal with kids from West County at that time. And we had enough kids to work with. So that was the birth of Youth Services Bureau. And we decided that we couldn't be all things to all people. So the part of teen pregnancy, there was an agency, East Bay Perinatal Council. So they got the funds to work with teen moms at that time. Okay, the term that it takes a village to raise a child, and that village is made up of volunteers. And it's like building a house. You have to have a foundation that you never see, but the strength of the house is what the foundation looks like. That's the importance of volunteers. Volunteers don't get a penny financially, but if they're committed and concerned about their community, about their village, they will volunteer. Volunteers for agencies like this is because of the passion and the love or the journey that they've had in their life. You know, I was blessed that I came from a two-parent spiritual-based household, 6 kids in my family. That's not like every other household. But in volunteers, when you talk about a village, the village is made up of the volunteers. The volunteers is the foundation of any human service program, whatever it might be. And it's the strength of the agency, the strength of the program rests on the volunteers, because the volunteers provide those things that the agency may not. If it's just a hug, or if it's just taking somebody to the grocery store, or giving some clothes, right? And doing those things that when you write a proposal or for a grant, that grant don't fund, those volunteers fill in that village fills in that. The uniqueness of Youth Services Bureau when they talk about their wraparound service. And that wraparound service provides everything to make the child whole. But their services recognize that in order to make the child whole, you have to make the family whole. And especially if it's a grandparent or a great-grandparent, that their services just don't focus on the child, because the house has to be healthy in order for the child to be healthy. I worked, my last job with the city of Richmond was with the adult literacy, and a lot of the adults that came in to help, we had a family literacy piece because we had to teach them how to read so they could teach their child how to read. So Youth Services Bureau's programs, they're part of the village, and they don't think that they're the only one, and that's their networking, that they're working with the school district. They bring clinicians in. They have clinicians on staff to work with the total person. You just can't work with one piece and expect for it to be okay, because the child, with their wraparound services, the child still have to go home. The child still have to go to school. So all those pieces of their services fit together. Okay, the importance of being on the board, first, legally, in order to maintain your nonprofit status, to maintain your 501c3 status, you have to have a board of directors that's held accountable for the financial strength and the legal strength of the agency. And Youth Services Bureau's board is important and unique because each board member brings, number one, that passion for the community. It's not like a private corporate board that looks at the revenue, or the stockholder. But our one and only focus is to maintain the services, to ensure that not only that the agency is financially sound, but we are responsible that we hold the agency accountable for spending the money wisely and correctly. And so, in addition to our passion for the programs, we have to be good stewards over the money that's coming in. You just can't come in and say, I love the community, and not concerned about what's going out. That we have to ensure that what we say we're doing programmatically, but what we say we're doing financially. We cannot, we are held accountable for the financial piece of the agency, because many times you may be doing a great program, but you're not keeping your records correctly. And that, we have to ensure that, because many agencies have been destroyed just because of the record keeping, the accountability, if you will, of the funders. Best satisfaction of seeing the success stories. Some of our clients have gone on and gotten college education. Some have gone on and come back to the agency to work. And that's my joy. Even if it's one child or one family, even though funders are big on statistics, and I know that's a part of the game, but if we could just say one family, if we could say one child not being a revolving door in the penal system, so that's a part of my joy, because I can remember the days when the gang rate was going up so much that San Francisco Foundation said the biggest issue that Richmond had was for young people staying alive. Mm-hmm. And I had gotten to the point of, if I have to go to another young person's funeral under the age of 21, and it's not because of a police shooting, it's because of a gang warfare. You kill my cat, I'm gonna kill your dog. And it was just so heart-wrenching not be able to save those young people. That's the part that I just didn't enjoy. But to see young people, young men and young ladies really come out of that cycle and break what I call the generational curse that they achieved, that they graduated from high school and came back and said thank you. That's the joy I have. Yeah. And even if I don't see them, I know that they're doing something for themselves, just to be able to, even if I don't witness it, I know that they're okay. My footprints, that I did the best I could, when I could, and how I could. And I don't ever want, yes, sometimes you want folks to say thank you, but I want my legacy to be, people remember me about, really starting an agency that was truly for the community, not for the money, not one of us on the board got a financial benefit from that. And in addition to that, for the staff to acknowledge, well, y'all did good. Isabel, you did good, because we are only as good as the staff. And I have to acknowledge the staff, because I've seen them when we've had our Christmas celebrations, that they've delivered Christmas toys to families before they came to the staff celebration. So I want my legacy or my footprint to be not about me, because the only way this agency will survive, or community services will survive, or our young people to survive is that my footprint is, if I can help somebody else, and I don't have to give a dollar, but if I can just help through my contacts, through my ability to assist, that's what I want my legacy to be. I don't want a pat on the back or a feather in my cap. I just want our young people to survive and make it like I have, because my parents, did not come from a upper income family. I did not. I lived right down here in the community, but it was because of people that poured into me the reason I am where I am today. I just didn't make it on my own. And it was people of the village that supported me, When we were young and my mother was so sick, it was people in the community of the church that helped my dad. We were all very young. So that's what I want my legacy to be, that she helped somebody, that I don't need my name on a plaque, it's just that a difference was made in the lives of somebody else.